Greetings, my name is Ms. Sheikh Dilshad, an F.Y.B.Ed batch 2023-25 student of Bombay Teachers Training College. The name of this course is Childhood and Growing Up. The topic of discussion will be Goleman's Theory of Emotional Intelligence. Our guide and mentor is Professor Dr. Rajeev I.Jha. Since two students will be covering this particular topic, I, Ms. Sheikh Dilshad, will handle the first half of the session while my classmate Ms. Siddhi Pavaskar will cover the second half. So let's get started. Let's first define what is emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence basically refers to the ability to manage both your own emotions and understand the emotions of people around you. In practical terms, emotional intelligence means being aware that emotions can drive our behavior and impact people positively and negatively, and to learn how to manage those emotions, both our own and others. Managing emotions is especially important in situations when we are under pressure. Some of the examples are: first, giving and receiving feedback. Sometimes giving or receiving feedbacks or comments can cause you to become emotional. Staying calm and neutral is the best choice an individual can do. The next is meeting tight deadlines. Deadlines are inevitable in any work environment, but they can also be stressful if you don't manage them well. Emotional intelligence, or the ability to understand and regulate your own emotions and others' emotions, can help you to cope up with deadline pressure and also improve your performance. The next is dealing with challenging relationships. Long lasting relationships with others are largely due to emotional intelligence, which make us highly conscious of the tiny and new changes that are always taking place in both ourselves and other people. The next is working through setbacks and failure. No matter how much we try to be positive, there will be times when we face failure and setbacks. It is important to remember that these are a part of life, and it is how we choose to respond to them that is the key. It is okay to feel frustrated or embarrassed or disappointed in the face of failure and setbacks. But it is also important to remember that failure is not an end point, but a learning experience, and that there is potential in it. So, why so much of importance is given to emotional intelligence? It is a scientific fact that emotions precede our thought. When emotions run high, they change the way our brain functions, diminishing our decision making process. Understanding and managing our emotions can help us to be more successful in personal as well as in professional lives. At personal level, emotional intelligence helps us to have uncomfortable conversations without hurting feelings. It's very hard it's hard not to get worked up emotionally when you are in a tense situations or tense conversations. However, fighting or using foul languages is not the best course of action. An emotionally intelligent individual will remain composed and deal in such with such situations in a very constructive manner. Manage our emotions when stressed or feeling overwhelmed. Emotionally intelligent people have improved their ability to engage their emotions and rational thinking simultaneously. So, this results in a more contained, calm, and comfortable reaction to such stressful circumstances. The third point is improve relationships with people we care about. Understanding the role of emotions in human thinking um, can and a behavior helps to build close bonds with between people. At work, workplace, emotional intelligence can help us to resolve conflicts, to coach and motivate others, to create a positive and healthy environment. Employees and leaders must understand how to apply emotional intelligence in workplace, since it can help them to grow in ways that can benefit their mental health. So, this term, emotional intelligence, was first coined in 1990 by two researchers, Mr. John D. Mayo and Mr. Peter Salovey, but was later popularized by psychologist Mr. Daniel Goleman. Mr. Daniel Goleman is the author of the best selling book on emotional intelligence, as well as many other works in emotional and social intelligence, leadership, and education. He is also a psychologist, a former science journalist for the New York Times, and co director of the Consortium for Research on Emotional Intelligence. He also lectures frequently to professional audiences. Some of his lectures are also available on YouTube channels. His work as a science journalist led Mr. Daniel to write his breakthrough book, Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More. Now, moving on to the main part of discussion, which is Goleman's theory of emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence, as Mr. Goleman defines it, has five parts. First, self awareness. Second, self regulation. Third, motivation. Fourth, empathy. And fifth, social skills. Let's start with self awareness. Self awareness refers to the capacity to recognize and understand the emotions and to have a sense of how one's actions, moods, and emotions can affect others. It involves keeping track of emotion and noticing different emotional reactions. You cannot control a situations, but you can control how you react to things through self-awareness. Think of self-awareness as a mirror. It's a reflection of who you are right at this moment. It's the understanding of your feelings, desires, habits, strengths, and weaknesses. It's about knowing why you do, and what you feel. Imagine you're having a conversation and suddenly you feel upset. Being self aware would mean recognizing this feeling that you are upset and understanding why you feel this way. It's a bit like being your own detective, constantly looking for clues and your about your own behavior and emotions. The next is self regulation. Self regulation is concerned with how you control and manage yourself and your emotions. It includes your ability to manage your impulses. Self regulation is the ability to understand and manage your behavior and your reactions to feelings and things happening around you. It is a very useful skill that helps individuals cope up with certain emotional behaviors, and also helps them to stay focused and attentive during the times of stress. Sometimes some individuals during the times of stress act out impulsively. Once the impulsivity wears off, many are left embarrassed or frustrated over how they should have been responded instead. So, self regulation includes being able to regulate reactions to strong emotions like frustration, excitement, anger, and embarrassment. Calm down after something exciting or upsetting happens, to focus on a task, to control impulses, to behave in a way that help you get along with other people. Self-regulation is a struggle for many people, children and adults alike. So as a child grows, self-regulation helps them to learn at school, because self-regulation gives the child the ability to sit down and listen in the classroom, to behave in socially acceptable ways. The self-regulation gives the child to the ability to control impulses and behave in a very appropriate and good manners in front of people. The next is make friends. The child gets the ability to make friends, to have a conversation with them, to play games, to share their toys, and to express their emotions in different ways. The last is become more independent. The child self-regulation gives the child the ability to make appropriate decisions about the behavior and learn how to behave in new situations with less guidance from adults like teachers or parents. The last topic which I will cover is motivation. Self motivation isn't just our ability to get out of bed each day, tidy our homes, or show up to college or work. It involves a personal reasons for doing something. It's a commitment of a drive, a persistence, our initiative, a commitment to accomplish something beyond money. Self motivation is the internal state that helps us initiate, continue, or terminate a behavior. For instance, we might be motivated to eat healthy if we are hungry, or we might be motivated to keep working a job so that we can pay our bills. Pretty much any behavior you can think of it to originate with self motivation. Now, motivation plays a very crucial part in your workplace. So, here are some of the points that can help you to drive your self motivation. So, first is find meaning and purpose in your work. When you feel that your work is important and has a greater purpose, you're more likely to feel motivated and engaged. Second is set clear, specific, and challenging goals to yourself. Having a clear sense of what you want to achieve and a plan for how to get there can provide direction and purpose and increase motivation. Focus on your strengths. Emotionally intelligent people tend to be aware of their own strengths and use them in their advantage. Instead of focusing on weaknesses, focus on what you do well and use that to drive your motivation. The fourth is self reflection and monitor your emotions. This can help you to be aware of your own emotional state and help you to recognize when your motivation is low and what might be causing it and how to cope up with it. The last is reward yourself on your progress, celebrating your progress, even though it is a tiny bit. Small wins can help you stay focused, stay motivated, and be focused on your goals. With this, I have completed the first half of this topic. From here on, my friend Miss Siddhi Pavaskar will take over. Thank you.